What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and you know it's easy to get wrapped up in all of this craziness. So many weird things going on in the world. It's hard not to be constantly glued to your cell phone or your laptop, watching for the next big news event. As UFOs are being spotted in the sky, Chinese spy balloons invade our country, and train derailment, chemical spills pollute our air and waterways, it's hard not to be totally invested in this stuff 24/7. Hell, if you really want to keep up with all the craziness, you basically have to devote your life to keeping up with this stuff. And much of my life has been devoted to keeping up with all of this stuff, but it's important to always take time out, for your own mental health, and to take time out to really connect with the world, connect with nature. After all, you can't call out all of these different agendas and all of this different crazy stuff without acknowledging one of the original agendas, which was to make humans disconnect with the outside world, to make humans disconnect with nature. They want us constantly in front of our computer. They want our eyes glued to our cell phones because then we never take the time to look around us. And we could be caught up in Lord knows what. Anything you want is at your fingertips if you have a smartphone. And while some of us pay attention to these things, other people are paying attention to those things. And the internet has made it to where if you have an interest, you could fully fall into that interest online, and you could, you get put into these little pockets of the internet to where a lot of the stuff going on in the world would never even make it to you, because the algorithms are crafting ways to keep you connected to your phone without you necessarily straying too far out of what they provide for you to see. Now, one thing that I love about nature is wildlife, especially birds. Birds are really cool. Birds have this ability that man has always wanted. If you ask people, what's the number one superpower you would choose? A lot of you all would answer differently, but the majority of people always pick flight. People really want to fly. Birds can fly. And birds are interesting little creatures. They're really like dinosaurs when you really think about it. In fact, here's me nervously taking a picture with a nice looking bird right here. I can assure you this was not a smile of happiness. This was a smile of nervousness, because I wasn't sure if my eyes were going to get pecked out at any moment. But birds in nature, they're really cool, and they're beautiful. They're awesome to observe. But what if I were to tell you that some birds aren't real? What if I were to tell you that some birds are actually drones that have been engineered to spy on you? Now, chances are, if you're watching this video, or if you know anything about conspiracies, then you know about the birds aren't real conspiracy. The theory that at one point our government replaced a lot of birds with drones that look like birds, and that half the birds you see aren't even real. Now, if you dig and you look for the origin of this conspiracy, it was started as a joke to poke fun at other people who believe in other conspiracies. That's kind of the origin of the birds aren't real theory. And it's a running joke that caught, fire on the internet. And it turned into a meme. You know how the internet works these days, okay? Things catch on and people will just run with it. Just as an inside joke. But along the way, you pick up other people who don't get that it's a joke. And they believe the theory. Now, this conspiracy never seemed too far-fetched to me. I'm not saying I believed it. But it's definitely something that sounded like could be possible. And at the very least, it's something that I always thought, this probably isn't true right now. But one day, maybe it will be. And if anything, this conspiracy theory that was started as a joke may just be giving these people ideas. Well, they say the only difference between a conspiracy theory and the truth is about 6 months. Well, this took a little longer than 6 months. It took a couple of years. But I can confirm now, for a 100% fact, that scientists are engineering dead birds, taxidermy birds, and they're turning them into drones to observe wildlife and possibly one day spy on people. Now, you probably just heard this and you think I'm crazy. Some of you all probably think this is insane. Well, remember how we were talking about those cell phones that everyone is always glued to today in today's world? Use your cell phone. Look it up. I'm not joking. Scientists are now re-engineering dead birds and they're turning them into drones. I want to hop right into this article because this is crazy. But first, talking about spying, did you know that you're being spied upon if you use the TikTok app? Did you know that they are collecting your data every time you're on TikTok? If I were you, I would get rid of that app and download the Swagit app. It's a US-based app. It's just getting started, so it doesn't have as many members as TikTok. But that's why we could turn it into an alternative. I believe in the app. I like the app. If you download the app using the link in the pinned comment of this video, it supports my channel. It's totally free. You're entered into giveaways. And like I said, it's a great alternative to TikTok. And as of right now, it's a US only app. And like I said, it's made in the US. I would encourage you all to really be careful with the TikTok app. And if you want something that's like the TikTok app, where you could share short little videos, download Swagit today. But let's hop into this article because this is kind of blowing my mind. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, I kind of saw this one coming. Scientists have developed drones using the bodies of stuffed dead birds. And advance, they say, could one day be used for stealthily spying on wildlife and people. The study presented recently at the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics SciTech 2023 Forum incorporates dead birds into flapping wing drones. And it may also enable spying on people for military purposes. Flapping wing drones, or ornithopters, are inspired by the flying process of birds and are being built using mechanical components, including propellers for thrust. Researchers, including Mustafa Hassanalian at New Mexico Tech in the U.S., say the new findings can be applied to re-engineer dead birds instead of solely relying on artificial materials for building drones. In the study, scientists combined taxidermy bird parts and artificial flapping drone mechanisms to recreate some of the general appearance and motions of birds more closely. They conducted 2 flight tests using drones that looked like birds, including one that looked like a real pheasant. Researchers also used 3D flapping and aerodynamic simulators to test the aerodynamic flapping characteristics of the re-engineered models. This allowed the implementation of flapping mechanisms and testing of the aerodynamics of the flapping wing drone, researchers wrote in the study. Scientists, however, found that the models created this way were not the most efficient flyers. They say while it is difficult to create such a drone, it is very practical for research purposes and can keep nature undisturbed. The new findings, scientists say, can also help make existing flapping wing drones look more natural. Based on the results, they also found that the replacement of some gear components used in such drones can lead to reduced noise and an increase in longevity. Researchers also found from the study that developing bendable wrists for such drones would help in making the wings more flexible in flight. By jointly studying taxidermy and drone flight simulations, they say different flight options can be incorporated into drones that may provide an easier user experience and also help develop a more natural flight. A final improvement would be to add legs so that the drone can perch and monitor without using much battery. So far, the bird drones can glide without even flapping their wings, and they can hover like hummingbirds due to the use of taxidermied bird parts, which include their head, feathers, and wings from pigeons, pheasants, hummingbirds, and crows. The team was able to accurately emulate the motions of a fluttering bird. It is easier to build a drone than to design a traditional mechanical wing that flaps like an ornithopter. Unsurprisingly, the taxidermy bird drones lag considerably behind their living counterparts for right now in terms of speed and grace. However, it is being reported that the current drone can successfully glide and hover and soar higher on hot thermal current. However, these drones should still not be expected to do anything too elegantly yet. The unpredictability of robot birds flying about may not be a problem for the new design's prospective applications, although the team wrote in their paper that it could be used for military use. Hassanalian emphasizes in an email that this is far from their primary goal of developing a nature-friendly drone concept for wildlife monitoring. He noted that since traditional drones are often disruptive to ecosystems due to issues such as noise and unfamiliarity, developing quieter, natural-looking drones could help in monitoring wildlife and in conducting research. More so, he said that there are potential biological discoveries to be found in mimicking movements of birds, like knowing how they conserve energy while flying in V formations, or the role their feather colors and patterns play in heat absorption and airflow. They also acknowledge that there is a lot more to do, especially in ethics and research guidelines for using dead birds in future scientific work. They said that a taxidermy artist helped them handle the birds that they used in the experiment. So, ladies and gentlemen, this weird little quirky conspiracy theory that many believe was created a couple of years ago has now come to reality. We are not too far from dead birds being used as drones in our cities to observe us, to watch us. Now, these scientists say that, hey, yeah, we acknowledge this could be used by the military, but that's not what we're creating them for. Now listen, I know that there are some people out there who just love science. There are some people who are working on these bird drones that really believe in their job. They probably believe in their heart that this is going to be used for good. We're going to study wildlife with these drones. We're going to watch other birds. We're going to watch monkeys. We're going to watch freaking koala bears. We all know what's going to happen, right? Like, you know what this leads to, right? I think we all know what this leads to. Do you think they're going to create something like this and it's just going to be used for good? No. That's not how the world works. Often, scientists, regular people, they develop things like this. Maybe not necessarily a dead bird drone, but there's been several advances in technology throughout the years that was hijacked and used for destruction instead of used for good. I can assure you that our society could be far more along than what it is now. But a lot of stuff that is created and invented, it's hidden from the public. You know, when you have a big breakthrough in medicine or technology, often you disappear. You get wiped off the map. Because there's certain things that they don't want us knowing. There's certain technologies that they don't want us to have the access to as of yet. And when it comes to these bird drones, yeah, sure, sounds great. We'll probably get an amazing wildlife documentary out of this. But then what comes after that? How long before you're walking to the store and a bird drops on the ground next to you? And you freak out, you poke it with a stick and get electrocuted because it's a mechanical freaking bird drone. Now, maybe I'm kind of exaggerating there, but that's the reality that we're going to be faced with. Now we can't even rely on the birds being real. As if the world isn't crazy enough, this is the last thing we needed. But it doesn't surprise me at all. We are moving into a future where we will be observed 24/7. And much of it is stuff that we knowingly allow. I mean, here I am right here. I knowingly put myself out there on a YouTube in front of thousands of people every day. So I've knowingly have given up some of my privacy. Other people in other ways are giving up their privacy knowingly, willingly, every day. But then the little privacies that we do have in this digital age, they're slowly being taken away from us as well, because we are being studied. Every time you're on your phone, you're being studied. Your phone and the algorithms, They're getting to know you. They know you better than you know you. That's why you could get on your phone and they recommend or they send you an ad for something that you were thinking about buying today. You're thinking about going to McDonald's. You get on your phone, oh, here's a McDonald's ad. These phones are getting to know you. You know, technology, it's getting to know you. You're being observed. You're being studied. And now, we're not too far away from a future to where you go out to go bird watching, you go out to connect with nature, and half the birds you see are freaking drones placed there to watch you every step of the way. But will they be placed there to protect you? No, of course not. They'll still allow bad things to happen. They just won't allow you to do anything that gets you too far ahead in life. But you know, I mean, the world continues to become a crazier place every day. Nothing is off limits at this point. Not even wildlife. This shouldn't come as a surprise to most of you all. But to those of you all who haven't been paying attention, this may come as a shock. But I know some people will watch this video and they'll be skeptical. They'll think it's all a game. They'll think it's just something for YouTube clicks. But mark my words, this stuff is happening. And they aren't even really trying to hide it. They put it out there. You just have to look for the information. And that's the case with a lot of this stuff. A lot of this stuff that you think is big cover-ups, big conspiracies. The info is out there. They put it out there. And you could dig into it and you could find it. You just have to sift through all the other nonsense that they put in your face beforehand. But let me know your thoughts about this. How do you feel about dead bird drones? Kind of creepy, right? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and watch out for birds.